Okay, so we're just going to talk real quickly here about the latest event with I think we had like Lakin's release, we had Nolgath's birthday, we had the Void High Lord, we had the new sword pet come out. So we're just going to go over our thoughts of that real quick, since it was kind of controversial, so to speak. And I'm going to open up here with the sword because I feel like it's the best thing that they introduced. This is a really nice farming pet. Compared to the other ones that we have, like I think the Swindle and Bilk came out today, and then the Astral Orb and the Larva and like all the other ones that we've had previously. This is purely like resources, so you don't have weapons that whatnot getting in the way of you're just farming for the stuff you actually want. So it's nice that we actually have like a solid farming pet right now. And yeah, what are your guys' thoughts?
As far as what you are required to get during the quest, it's actually rather simple. It only takes a couple minutes. Slugfit horns are nearly 100% drop. Arkara Silk is 100% drop. Makai Fangs are low, but it doesn't take that long to get. And Inflames are nearly 100% drop. Aquamarines of Nolgath are a drop item, and they can be obtained at Battle Under Sea at 100% drop from a boss with 18k health.
And those stack up to 27 too, so you only have to be there for like 5-10 minutes, and then you're good to go for like 9 turn-ins, I think.
I do think Alina had tweeted earlier though that she was thinking about increasing the cap to 50 on the Aquamarine.
I think increasing the cap would be nice, just because for I don't know, for the sake of things being easier.
I think that's my biggest problem with it though, is it's a fast way to get it, but the stacking itself takes way longer than the rest of the quest, so it almost feels unbalanced.
I guess. But it is nice though that we don't have to go back and forth between maps a whole lot, which is another nice thing about this sort of quest line is it's all very centralized. Like it's all around Mobius and Fairy, and the one kind of out of the way place is Nolgath, and that's discluding the Battle Under Sea. Yeah, Battle Under Sea, because I mean you just stack those up and then you're good to go.
As far as the quest rewards go, you're kind of standard fare. You get a Dark Crystal Shard and a Diamond and Nolgath default, but you can also receive at random things like Unidentified 13, Blood Gem of the Archfiend, Tainted Gems, vouchers of both types, gems, totems, and fiend tokens. I hear
my
that
second turn in, I actually got the Unidentified 13, so this is already paying off pretty well.
I hear that the drop rates are rather high for this compared to the Astral Orb, so this might be worth it, despite it taking a little longer than the Astral Orb.
Yeah, and I mean, beyond even that, it looks so nice. Like, the Astral Orb is, I mean, it's a little basic, obviously. It's just a blue circle, essentially. It looks nice as well. But this sword is just...
Also comes in red, buy it at your local Walmart.
Yeah, but this sword is just... The animations are nice. I mean, it's got the kind of generic cover of the sword. I mean, the quest is good. If I had a set that looked good with it, I would wear it all the time, but...
However, it is not a battle pet. There is a battle pet version available in the shop as well for 100,000 gold for members only. Moving on, there's a second pet that came with the release as well, the Swindle Bilk pet. You can get this pet at Swindle Bilk himself, and it's a 2000 AC pet which has 3 quests that are only available to the owner. The quests are Supplies to Spin the Wheel of Chance, Swindle's Return Policy, and the Assistant. It's your pretty standard fanfare. It's kind of a discount Crag and Bamboozle, because this is the spin the wheel that comes with Crag and Bamboozle, so you don't have to select an unidentified 13 or 14. But otherwise, you have your standard fare of quest rewards from it as well. It's worth it if you will be farming something big like Archfiend Doomlord or something of the like. But otherwise, you can easily find Drudgeons at Yelgar's of the people AFK.
And because I already have the Drudgeon and the Crag and Bamboozle and all that. Is it a member as well, or is this a non-member, or?
It is a non-member pet, actually. So that might be something to be worth considering.
Yeah, that's definitely a big plus, because I don't think there have been any previously, besides like birthday event type stuff. So it's like a sort of mini Drugan, in a sense.
My biggest criticism of it, though, is even though you use it like a Crag and Bamboozle, and it's useful in that sense, like really quick farming, 2,000 ACs is a lot for only 3 quests.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going to be focusing your like most time around only one, with the occasional usage of the other two.
It's I feel like it's very much an introductory farming pet because like if you don't want to jump the shark to get the 5K Drugan, which has pretty much all of the stuff for farming besides the like birthday pets. It is a nice starter, and if you don't want to invest in like the mem to get like the Drugans or the Dragon Bamboozles or the larva, even though once you get that, you can use it as a non-member. I forgot what I was saying. It's a good place to start. It's a good introduction.
Also,
I
this
feel like
pet
in a
isn't
way-
going to be
oh.
going rare. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, sorry, I did. Wait, is it not going rare though?
It, from what I know, it is not. I don't have a confirmation for that though, but I don't believe it is.
I didn't know that.
And next up we have our notes here just says wheel.
The,
Which one was that again?
The Wheel of Chance buffs.
There is an update to the Wheel of Chance, which gives it a couple new items. According to Alina's Twitter, it looks like there's one helm, one cape, and 2 weapons. As far as the names of the items are, I think it's Wicked Edge Cape, Archery and Spikes.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're
the
talking
weapons
about.
may be in the assistant instead. Toxic Eye of the Void, and I cannot find the last one, so I guess that will be a mystery.
Alright. Yeah, I remember her. I think it might be on the design notes, but I remember her tweeting it out with just an image of all of them grouped together. They're. Sorry, go ahead.
I actually checked this earlier, and it seems like the one place the quest hasn't been updated is from Swindle Blick himself, the actual NPC. It still has the original drops, and I don't think there's been any like additions to it. So I don't know if they forgot that or just didn't care.
I expect possible changes in the future.
Hopefully. But
Moving on.
who knows?
Moving on, we have the Void Knight set from Milton Poole himself, actually, in the game. You can find this also in the January Rare shop, and the armor is available for 2,000 ACs. There are 2 versions of the cape. One is static and available for 100, and one is animated and available for 500. You also have a weapon available for 500 ACs that is also animated. It's the same weapon as the pet is, and it looks pretty nice, actually. There's also a helm available for 100 ACs. There's no animations whatsoever on that.
The armor, even though Mole's out of the room right now, the armor is the one I'm currently wearing. Did you go over the prices?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah. So it's 2K ACs for this armor here, and a lot of people aren't very happy about that. And honestly, I kind of gotta agree. I think it's a really nice armor. I don't think it's a 2K AC armor. I think they're kind of banking on the fact that Miltonis himself designed this, and they're kind of trying to bank off the nostalgia factor and just everybody loving Milton. But it's just not worth the 2K ACs. Like, for your average player, it's not worth it. Definitely not worth it. Get the sword. The sword is worth it.
The sword pet is
the pet and the actual sword, that's 2K ACs combined. You get a lot more bang for your buck there.
I feel like it's kind of a curveball because a lot of people, when they get to Miltonis' birthday, they really expect that kind of classic Void feel, and this doesn't look or feel like it at all.
Yeah,
it feels like something completely different.
It feels very oversoul-y, and I kind of like that. It's a little weird, but I do enjoy it.
Up next, last but not least, we have the star of the show that everyone's been waiting for, Void High Lord. And you can find this by going to Tessessa's New Lotlam and going to where Taro is. And you can go to where Taro
pronouncing it.
And there will be an NPC standing here. He will have a merge shop, which has the class itself in it. If we take a look here, the class takes 3 items. It takes 4 Rowan to Geniums of Nulgath, Void Crystal A, and Void Crystal B. Void Crystals A and B are rather straightforward. You can find them in the merge shop also, and they just require quite a high amount of resources. As far as the Rowan and Geniums, your generic farm for Nulgath. As far as the Rowan and Geniums go, this is where the real time in the farming will go. As you can see, it requires quite a few items, some of the most notable being having to get an unidentified 13, Elder's Blood Potion, which is a daily potion quest in Arkengrove, getting a bunch of Nulgath's approval and Archfiend's favors, 25 Emblems of Nulgath from Shadow Blast, and 50 Essences of Nulgath. Now, this rewards you with a bunch of rewards. You get the armor set for the Void High Lord, you get 20 unidentified 10s, and you get a 5% chance at Rowan to Genoms. 5% chance.
So I'm just gonna hop in right here and talk about that. So one final thing that you miss in here is the Le Chocolat, which is what was the price on that? It's like
3.75 million from Slash.
3.75 million gold. So right at the cap of the max gold. You can complete this quest once per day for a 5% chance after having to get the max gold over and over, and it takes 4 pieces, I believe, to create the class.
Yes,
right?
It takes 4 Road to Genoms.
Yeah, I don't enjoy the fact that you have a daily % chance to get a class which is going to be outshined in maybe a month by their newest class. And a lot of people have been talking about this quest and just kind of how ridiculous it is. I don't think it's very ridiculous as a straightforward quest. I mean, it's obviously very demanding, but for a Nulgath class that isn't Arcfiend, it should be. I mean, this is the first gameplay affecting Nulgath thing. Again, voiding Arcfiend. And it's a pretty solid grind. This is pretty classic when it comes to how Nulgath items are grinded out. But a % chance at a resource that takes this much stuff, and it can be done once per day. I mean, it's unlikely you'd be doing it more than once per day anyways because of the chocolate, but
this is where I think AE goes too far with these quote-unquote endgame farming, because it's less about the challenge and more about just making the process as long as grueling as possible, it seems like. Because the quest itself isn't inherently hard when you think about it. Like what we talked about earlier, it would take roughly 4 to 5 hours a day.
Yeah, something like that.
That's pretty long. That's pretty. You would expect that from a Nulgath quest.
Yeah.
But compared to Legendary Archfiend, that was a long farm. I don't know if you guys ever sat down and did the member quest to get those coins individually.
I just bought it with Hades.
Yeah, but I personally did the quest where you killed Red Dragon such and such times for 50% drop, and that was a long farm. But this is just, it's like they're trying to milk how much frustration and effort you can actually put into one quest.
I feel like they're making you want to stay by just making you sink even more time in.
It almost seems like a punishment to want this class.
And, Mo, you had broke down previously how long it would take to actually get all these items in a best case scenario type of thing.
Yeah.
What was that again?
In a rough best case scenario, without exploiting anything within the game, it should take you around 400 to 500 hours to grind out everything on this list and get the full road to Genoms and everything needed for the merge.
And that's assuming you were lucky too.
That's assuming you get average luck, yeah. Which is going to be 80 turn-ins of this quest.
Yeah.
That's about par with something like Archfiend Doomlord, or it's well above Sepulchre's Doom Knight armor, actually. And Sync very well may not be lying when he says this is the hardest item in the game to get.
Yeah.
See, I just think that it's too much to ask for almost. I know it's an endgame item, but it's too much to ask for only 5% chance every day after this long grind to get close to what you need. And I understand you only need 4 of these, but I'm sure everyone's been in a position where they've farmed for 1% items to 10% items, and even that can take hours on its own, even if you're doing quick quests.
Yeah.
So this is just completely luck based. It's not dedication at all, really.
Actually, yeah.
Besides putting in
my main is it doesn't reward dedication; it rewards luck. And if you're gonna sink your time in to grind something, you should be rewarded for that grind. You shouldn't have to pray to RNGesus that you're gonna get a great drop rate or anything. Like it's kind of almost rude to the people who are dedicated Nilgath farmers. Like Balor, for example, doesn't even like the class, but being like a very dedicated like Nilgath fan, he said he's going to try and farm it out anyways. I think I personally am probably going to maybe get it once just for the armor, because I do like the armor. But it's very unlikely I'd ever try and actually get this class with, I mean, considering the amount of other grinds there still are in the game. I still have to get Blinding Light of Destiny, and that's been a slow grind for me. Oversoul Paladin, some of the Mirror Realm Paladins. This is very
I think the best way to really put this into perspective is to compare it to the other Nulgath quest that's known for being extremely long and difficult, which is terraforming for the Nation House, going like for the full Enchanted. That itself is hard. It's time consuming and it's hard, but you don't have to rely on luck like 90% of the time to get it. Like, you're guaranteed good chances of all the items it requires. You just have to put in the amount of time and effort to get those items. Whereas this, it requires almost a level of luck and how much pain you can tolerate, and then to turn it in after like 4 hours of work and just see zero profit from it.
And to add on to that, a lot of Nilgath's resources to start off with are RNG. So you're doubling up on RNG here to try and get one class that was nerfed to be an okay to kind of subpar soloing class. That doesn't, like, because previously it was a farming class, AoE farming class. I mean, at the time of the release of this video, I'm sure everybody will know that, but for future reference, this class initially was a pretty strong AoE class. We actually tested it out in Blood Red Brawl for quite a while, and it was a very strong class. Honestly, it was
7k hits on just random people just for walking into a room.
The amount of heals you get, there was a little bit of an issue with the health costs, but the net gain was good. But I mean, we're not going to break down the class a whole lot here. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point because it's now a single target class.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even like help you farm more if that's even your goal with this. Which, I mean, if you're going to be a Nulgath farmer, farming's kind of your thing. So they've nerfed a class that makes it, or they've nerfed the class that takes the longest time in game to get, which is not due to actual like struggle that you're putting in, but luck. And it's funny too, because this is even an easier version of what they were initially going to have, because originally they were going to have the Hayden Onyx Head of Nulgath, or whatever it's called, which on its own, previously Surix and Mole and Balor and I, we'd all tried to farm it, and it took about 6 hours to get nothing. And so that would have added a third level of RNG to even accept the quest.
And then let's not forget, they even put restrictions on that drop where instant kill classes give you a complete 0% drop, so you have to actually like put yourself in situations where you're even more unlikely,
more nerfed.
Yeah. You have to put yourself in lower positions than you should have to normally.
It's a very demanding time sink for one class in a game that honestly doesn't deserve the time sink. Maybe there's a little scandalous saying this, but I don't think this game isn't worth 700 hours for one class that you're gonna bank and forget about. If it were worth ACs, if you could get it with ACs, like some people mentioned 12k, maybe I'd get it then, but it's not worth.
I think it really just comes
hours.
down to like the logic I've used behind every Nulgath birthday so far, or like big event that he's had. I shouldn't have to question whether it's worth it for Nulgath. Like, for an event where he's come back and spent his own time and effort on this like art, and that all these fans have put into making this class, what it is, I shouldn't have to question if this is worth it. Like, this should be on every like Nation fan's first priority of things to get.
Not to mention the amount of hype that got built up around this. Like, I believe it was announced like a year ago with I think it was Lightcaster. Balor would know better than I do,
Yeah.
but this class has been hyped up for a long time. Originally being the
Void Warlord.
The like Void Warlord, yeah. Also a little salty that they stole the Paladin High Lord thing. Could we please get something original? But it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see them take the hype out of events like Nolgath's birthday, Milton returning, a class that's been promised for a year with a grind, and people get excited over grinds, and I mean I get that. Like I get excited for a good grind too, but they push the envelope so hard with this event, and then the Lakin event I mentioned earlier, we don't really have a whole lot to cover there. I don't think any of us went over it, but I was browsing the AQ subreddit, and somebody said it was like 5 minutes of content, and it feels very for Lakin leaving. It feels kind of backhanded, and I feel like he deserves a better send off. And I know it's not the finale, but I don't know, kind of a disappointing event overall. You guys have any final words?
No, I think we should just end the recording there because I accidentally left it.
That's a good idea.